In the vast darkness of space, a faint and strange message broke through the silence. It came from a distant part of the galaxy, far beyond any map humans had ever made. On board the starship US Odyssey Captain Ryan Carter stood quietly on the bridge, staring at the blinking light on his console. His communications officer, Lieutenant Kelly Hayes, was working hard to decode the weak signal. After several minutes, she looked up with wide eyes. "Captain, I think it's a distress call," she said softly. Ryan stepped closer to her station, leaning over her shoulder. The message was broken and unclear, but one part stood out. "Help us. They're coming." Ryan frowned. Who were they? And who needed help? He glanced at Commander Alex Monroe, his first officer, who was standing nearby. "What do you think?" Ryan asked. Alex shrugged. "It could be a trap," he replied, "or it could be real. Either way, we can't ignore it." Ryan nodded. He knew Alex was right. If there was even a small chance someone needed their help, they had to act. But this wasn't a job for just one ship. This required Earth's strongest fleet. Ryan gave the order to gather the best ships humanity had to offer. The Eclipse led by Captain Laura Bennett, was known for its powerful weapons. The Aurora carried experimental technology that might save lives in battle. And the Vanguard was filled with brave soldiers ready to fight. As the ships began to assemble near Earth, Ryan felt a mix of excitement and worry. What would they find when they reached the source of the signal? On board the Aurora Lieutenant Daniel Brooks was busy checking his equipment. He was young, but everyone respected his skills. He had created a new kind of shield that could protect the ships from enemy attacks. Still, he wasn't sure if it would work against something they'd never seen before. "I hope we don't need these," he muttered to himself as he adjusted the controls. Meanwhile, back on the Odyssey Ryan prepared to speak to the entire fleet. Using a holographic system, his face appeared on screens across all the ships. "This isn't just about answering a call for help," he said firmly. "It's about protecting our future. We go in strong, stay united, and leave nothing behind." His words filled the crews with determination, but they also reminded them of the dangers ahead. As the fleet set course for the unknown, Ryan walked to the large window on the bridge. He stared out at the endless stars, feeling both awe and fear. They were heading into uncharted territory, where anything could happen. Would they find allies, enemies, or something completely unexpected? One thing was certain: this mission would change everything. The journey took several days. During that time, the crew worked nonstop to prepare for whatever lay ahead. Some practiced combat drills, while others checked every piece of equipment. Even during meals, conversations often turned to the mysterious message. Who had sent it? Why did it sound so desperate? No one had answers, but everyone agreed on one thing: they had to be ready for anything. Finally, the fleet arrived at the location of the distress signal. What they saw shocked them. A lonely planet floated in front of them, surrounded by debris and ruins. Its surface was cracked and scarred, like it had been through countless battles. Sensors showed signs of old buildings and structures, but no movement. It looked abandoned. Just as the crew started to wonder if the message had been a mistake, another transmission came through. This one was clearer. "They've breached our defenses. Please hurry." The voice sounded panicked. Then suddenly, alarms blared across the fleet. Large ships, unlike anything they had ever seen, emerged from behind the planet's rings. They were sleek and glowing with an eerie blue light. Without warning, the alien ships opened fire. The battle had begun. The fleet gathered at the edge of the Sol system, each ship brimming with advanced weapons and cutting-edge technology. Captain Laura Bennett stood tall on the bridge of the Eclipse, her sharp eyes scanning the monitors. She was known for her no-nonsense attitude and tactical brilliance. Her crew trusted her completely, but even she felt a knot of tension in her stomach. This mission was unlike anything they had ever faced. Nearby, the Aurora hummed with energy as Lieutenant Daniel Brooks double-checked his experimental shield system. He wasn't just nervous, he was terrified. The young engineer had spent months perfecting the technology, but he had never tested it in real combat. If this doesn't work, he muttered to himself, we're all in trouble. His hands trembled slightly as he adjusted the controls one last time. Back on the Odyssey, Captain Ryan Carter prepared to address the entire fleet. Using the holographic communication system, his calm yet commanding voice reached every ship. This isn't just about answering a cry for help, he said. It's about protecting humanity's future. We go in strong, stay united, and leave nothing behind. His words inspired confidence, but deep down, everyone knew the risks. They were heading into the unknown, and failure was not an option. As the ships aligned for warp travel, the crews worked tirelessly to ensure everything was ready. Some checked weapons systems, while others reviewed navigation charts. On board the Vanguard soldiers practiced drills, their movements precise and focused. Even the medical teams prepared for the worst, stocking supplies and reviewing emergency procedures. Everyone understood that this mission could change the course of human history or end it. The journey through warp space was long and tense. Conversations among the crew often turned to the distress signal. Who had sent it? What did their coming mean? Speculation ran wild, but no one had answers. Lieutenant Kelly Hayes, the communications officer on the Odyssey, spent hours trying to decode more of the message. So far, she had only managed to confirm its urgency. Whoever sent this is desperate, she told Ryan during one of their briefings. We need to be ready for anything. Finally, after days of travel, the fleet arrived at the coordinates of the distress signal. What they found was a desolate planet orbiting a dying star. Its surface was scarred by battles long past, littered with the remains of structures that hinted at intelligent life. Scans revealed no immediate signs of survivors, but something felt off. The air was heavy with unease. Just as landing parties began preparing to explore the planet, the sensors picked up movement beneath its surface. Lieutenant Hayes intercepted another transmission, this one clearer than before. They've breached our defenses. Please hurry. The voice was filled with panic. Moments later, alarms blared across the fleet. Massive energy signatures approached fast. From the shadows of the planet's rings emerged a fleet of alien vessels. Their sleek, angular designs shimmered with an eerie blue light. Without warning, the alien ships opened fire. Bright beams of energy streaked toward the human fleet, forcing them to scramble into defensive formations. Captain Bennett's Eclipse took the lead, using its heavy cannons to hold off the attackers while the other ships regrouped. On the Odyssey, Ryan ordered Lieutenant Brooks to deploy his experimental shield technology. Though hesitant, Brooks activated the system. A shimmering barrier surrounded the fleet, absorbing much of the enemy assault. For now, they were safe, but the battle was far from over. As explosions lit up the darkness of space, Ryan knew this was only the beginning. Whoever these aliens were, they weren't going to back down easily. The battle raged on as the alien ships continued their relentless assault. Captain Laura Bennett's Eclipse led the charge, its heavy cannons firing non-stop to keep the attackers at bay. The experimental shields created by Lieutenant Daniel Brooks held firm, but the strain was visible on every monitor. Bright flashes of energy lit up the darkness of space, and the crew aboard each ship worked tirelessly to stay alive. On the Odyssey, Captain Ryan Carter stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the chaos outside. We need to find out who these aliens are, he said firmly. Lieutenant Kelly Hayes nodded and focused on her console, trying to intercept more transmissions. After a few tense moments, she managed to pick up another message. This one was clearer. They're here. They're destroying everything. The voice was filled with fear, But it wasn't from the alien ships attacking them. It seemed to belong to whoever had sent the original distress signal. Just as Ryan was about to give an order, something unexpected happened. One of the alien vessels broke away from the main group and moved closer to the Odyssey *. Its sleek design glowed brighter as it hovered nearby. Then, a strange voice crackled over the comms. It was a mix of distorted tones and clicks, but the ship's AI quickly translated it into English. "You should not have come," the voice said coldly. Commander Alex Monroe stepped forward, his face tense. "What do you mean?" he asked. Before anyone could respond, the alien ship transmitted images directly into their minds. Visions of destruction flooded their thoughts. Entire planets reduced to ash, civilizations wiped out, and countless lives lost. The crew of the Odyssey * staggered under the weight of the horrifying images. Ryan clenched his fists, trying to stay focused. "Who are you?" he demanded. The alien voice replied, "We are the Krylos. We fight to survive against an enemy that cannot be stopped." The images shifted, showing a monstrous being, a swirling mass of darkness and tendrils. It consumed everything in its path, leaving only emptiness behind. "This is the Void Spawn," the voice continued. "It destroys all life. We tried to contain it, but now it comes for you." Ryan exchanged a glance with Alex. The situation was more complicated than they had imagined. These aliens, the Krylos, weren't their enemies. They were survivors, just like humanity. But the Void Spawn was a threat far greater than anyone had anticipated. "Why didn't you warn us sooner?" Ryan asked. The Krylos responded, "We did. Your kind ignored our signals until now." Before Ryan could reply, another wave of attacks hit the fleet. The Krylos ships turned their weapons on the Void Spawn, which had begun to emerge from the shadows of the planet's rings. It was massive, larger than anything the humans had ever seen. Its dark form pulsed with energy, and its tendrils lashed out, destroying everything they touched. The human fleet and the Krylos ships fought side by side, but the Void Spawn seemed unstoppable. Lieutenant Brooks watched the battle unfold from the Aurora *. His experimental shields were holding, but he knew they wouldn't last forever. "We need a plan," he muttered to himself. He began running calculations, searching for a weakness in the Void Spawn structure. Meanwhile, Captain Bennett coordinated the fleet's defenses, her sharp commands keeping everyone focused. Back on the Odyssey *, Ryan made a decision. "We need to work with the Krylos," he said. "If we don't, none of us will make it out alive." Alex hesitated, but eventually nodded. "Agreed," he said. "But how do we trust them?" Ryan sighed. "We don't have a choice. Right now, they're our best chance." Ryan opened a channel to the Krylos leader, whose name was Zoreth. "We want to help," Ryan said. "Tell us what we need to do." Zoreth's response was immediate. "There is a way to weaken the Void Spawn, but it will require great sacrifice. Are you willing to risk everything?" Ryan looked around the bridge at his crew. They were scared, but they were also determined. "Yes," he said firmly. "Tell us your plan." As Zoreth explained the strategy, the fleet prepared for the most dangerous mission any of them had ever faced. The Void Spawn loomed larger with each passing moment, its hunger for destruction growing stronger. Humanity and the Krylos would have to fight together. If they failed, the galaxy would fall into darkness. The plan was risky, but it was their only chance. Zoreth, the Krylos leader, explained that the Void Spawn had a weak point, a pulsating core at its center. If they could destroy it, the creature would collapse. But reaching the core wouldn't be easy. The Void Spawn's tendrils acted like barriers, and its dark energy made navigation nearly impossible. "We must create a distraction," Zoreth said. "Your ships will draw its attention while a smaller team moves in to strike." Captain Ryan Carter nodded, his jaw tight with determination. "We'll do it," he said. Turning to Commander Alex Monroe, he added, "Prepare a boarding party. You're leading the strike team." Alex didn't argue. He knew this was the most dangerous part of the mission, but someone had to do it. He quickly gathered a group of volunteers, including Lieutenant Daniel Brooks, whose technical skills might prove crucial. On board the Aurora Asterisk, Brooks worked frantically to modify a shuttle for the mission. He reinforced its hull and equipped it with advanced sensors to navigate the void spawn's chaotic interior. "This thing eats ships for breakfast," he muttered as he soldered wires together. "Let's hope it doesn't eat us too." Despite his fear, he stayed focused. Failure wasn't an option. Meanwhile, Captain Laura Bennett coordinated the fleet's role in the plan. Her ship, the Eclipse Asterisk, would lead the charge against the void spawn's outer defenses. "All hands to battle stations," she ordered. Her crew responded with precision, readying weapons and shields for the fight ahead. "Remember," she said over the comms, "we're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for everyone back home." As the human fleet and the Krylos ships launched their attack, chaos erupted. Bright beams of energy filled the void as both sides fired relentlessly at the void spawn. Its tendrils lashed out, smashing into ships and sending debris flying. The Vanguard took heavy damage, its shields flickering under the strain. Soldiers aboard scrambled to repair the damage while continuing to fire back. Amidst the chaos, Alex Monroe and his team boarded the modified shuttle. With Lieutenant Brooks at the controls, they flew toward the void spawn's core. The closer they got, the darker the space around them became. Strange whispers echoed through the shuttle, making everyone uneasy. "What is that?" one of the crew members asked nervously. Alex shook his head. "Stay focused," he said firmly. "We don't have time for distractions." Reaching the core wasn't easy. The void spawn's tendrils swiped at the shuttle, nearly crushing it several times. Brooks maneuvered skillfully, dodging each attack with seconds to spare. Finally, they reached the pulsating core. It glowed with an eerie red light, pulsing like a heartbeat. "This is it," Alex said, gripping his weapon tightly. "Let's finish this." The team exited the shuttle, floating in the zero-gravity environment of the void spawn's interior. They planted explosives on the core, working quickly despite the oppressive atmosphere. The whispers grew louder, almost deafening, as if the creature was aware of their presence. One of the crew members panicked and dropped a tool, causing a loud clang. Instantly, a tendril shot toward them. "Move!" Alex shouted, shoving the crew member out of the way. The tendril missed by inches, but it left a deep gouge in the shuttle's hull. Brooks cursed under his breath. "We need to hurry," he said. "That thing isn't going to wait for us." With the explosives in place, the team scrambled back to the shuttle. Brooks activated the detonation sequence, setting a timer for 5 minutes. As they sped away, the void spawn's tendrils chased them, trying to crush the small craft. Brooks pushed the engines to their limit, weaving through the chaos. Behind them, the core began to destabilize, glowing brighter and brighter. Finally, they broke free of the void spawn's grasp, rejoining the fleet just as the countdown hit 0. A massive explosion lit up the darkness, sending shockwaves through space. The void spawn collapsed inward, its form dissolving into nothingness. For a moment, there was silence. Then cheers erupted across the fleet. They had done it. They had destroyed the void spawn. But the victory came at a cost. Several ships were damaged, and some crew members hadn't made it. As the survivors regrouped, Ryan looked out at the wreckage, his heart heavy but hopeful. They had faced the unknown and prevailed. Yet, deep down, he knew this was only the beginning. There were still countless mysteries in the galaxy, and dangers waiting to be uncovered. The explosion that destroyed the void spawn sent a powerful shockwave through space. The human fleet and the Krylos ships were pushed back, their shields straining to hold against the force. On board the Odyssey, Captain Ryan Carter gripped the edge of his command chair as the ship shook violently. Alarms blared, and crew members scrambled to stabilize systems. "Report," Ryan shouted over the noise. "All systems holding. but we've lost contact with the Aurora *. Lieutenant Kelly Hayes replied, her voice tense. Ryan's stomach sank. The Aurora * had played a key role in the mission, and Lieutenant Daniel Brooks was on it. "Find them," Ryan ordered. "We can't leave anyone behind." Nearby, Captain Laura Bennett's Eclipse * also struggled to recover from the blast. Her crew worked quickly to repair damaged systems while keeping an eye out for survivors. "Sir, we're picking up faint life signs from the Aurora *, one of her officers reported. "They're drifting, but their hull is intact." Laura nodded. "Send a recovery team. Let's bring them home." As the fleet regrouped, Zorath, the Krylos leader, appeared on the main screen of the Odyssey *. His alien features were unreadable, but his tone carried a mix of gratitude and exhaustion. "Your courage has saved us all," he said. "The void spawn is gone. For now." Ryan frowned. "What do you mean, for now?" Zorath hesitated before answering. "The void spawn is ancient. It cannot truly be destroyed, only contained. This victory is temporary." The news weighed heavily on everyone. They had risked everything to stop the creature, but it wasn't over. Still, Ryan chose to focus on the positives. "We'll deal with that when it comes," he said firmly. "For now, let's make sure our people are safe." Zorath nodded. "You have earned our trust, Captain Carter. If there is ever a need, the Krylos will stand with you." Back on the Aurora *, Lieutenant Brooks groaned as he regained consciousness. His head throbbed, and the dim emergency lights flickered above him. Around him, his crewmates stirred, checking for injuries. "Everyone okay?" Brooks asked weakly. A few nods answered him, though some looked worse than others. Despite the damage, the experimental shield technology had saved their lives. Brooks felt a small sense of pride, even in the chaos. When the recovery team arrived, they found the crew shaken but alive. As they were brought aboard the Eclipse *, Brooks immediately sought out Captain Laura Bennett. "Did it work?" he asked anxiously. Laura gave him a rare smile. "It worked. You did good, Brooks. We couldn't have done it without your shield tech." Brooks exhaled in relief. For once, his invention hadn't failed him, or anyone else. On the Odyssey *, Ryan gathered his senior officers and representatives from the other ships for a debriefing. The mood was somber but hopeful. "We faced something no one thought we could survive," Ryan began, "and we came out stronger because of it. But this isn't the end. There are still threats out there, bigger ones. We need to stay ready." Commander Alex Monroe spoke up, his voice steady. "This mission showed us what we're capable of when we work together, not just humans, but allies like the Krylos. If we keep that unity, we can handle whatever comes next." The room fell silent, everyone reflecting on his words. As repairs continued across the fleet, the crews took time to mourn their losses. Some attended memorial services held in honor of fallen comrades, while others simply shared stories and memories. It was a reminder that every victory came at a cost. Finally, the fleet set course for Earth. The journey home would take days, but the crew used the time to rest and reflect. Ryan often stood on the bridge, staring out at the stars. He thought about the void spawn, the Krylos, and the countless mysteries still waiting in the galaxy. Humanity had proven its strength, but the universe was vast and full of dangers. One thing was certain: Earth was safe for now. But the lessons learned from this mission would shape humanity's future. Ryan knew they would face more challenges, but he also knew they were ready. Together, they had stared into the abyss and won. As the fleet approached Earth, the mood among the crew was a mix of relief and pride. They had faced an unimaginable threat and returned victorious. But beneath the celebrations, there was also a sense of unease. The words of Zorath, the Krylos leader, lingered in their minds. The void spawn cannot truly be destroyed. Captain Ryan Carter stood on the bridge of the Odyssey *, staring at the blue-green orb growing larger in the viewport. He knew this victory wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. Back on Earth, news of the fleet's success spread quickly. People celebrated in the streets, waving flags and lighting up the night sky with fireworks. The crew of the Odyssey and the other ships were hailed as heroes. Reporters crowded around the spaceport, eager to hear their story. When Ryan stepped off the ship, he was met with cheers and applause. For a moment, he allowed himself to smile. His crew deserved this recognition. But deep down, he felt the weight of responsibility. Humanity had taken its first step into the wider galaxy, and it wouldn't be the last. Lieutenant Daniel Brooks found himself surrounded by admirers too. His experimental shield technology had saved countless lives during the battle against the Void Spawn. Scientists and engineers bombarded him with questions, wanting to know how he had done it. Brooks tried to stay humble, but he couldn't help feeling a spark of pride. "It wasn't just me," he said repeatedly. "The whole team made it work." Captain Laura Bennett, however, didn't stick around for the festivities. After a quick debriefing, she returned to her ship, the Eclipse *. She preferred action to celebration. Sitting alone in her quarters, she reviewed the data collected during the mission. Something about the Void Spawn still bothered her. Its structure, its energy patterns, they were unlike anything she had ever seen. "There's more to this," she muttered to herself. "We need to understand it better." Commander Alex Monroe spent his time visiting hospitals, checking on injured crew members, and paying respects to the families of those who hadn't made it back. It was a grim task, but he believed it was important. "We owe them that much," he told Ryan when asked about it. Each visit reminded him of the cost of their victory and the importance of staying prepared for the future. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Kelly Hayes worked tirelessly in the communications lab. She had recorded every transmission from the Krylos and the Void Spawn, hoping to find clues about what they might face next. Late one night, she noticed something strange, a faint signal hidden within the data. At first, she thought it was interference, but as she analyzed it further, she realized it was a pattern, a message. Her heart raced as she brought it to Ryan. Ryan listened carefully as Kelly played the recording. It was fragmented and distorted, but one phrase stood out. "They are waking." Ryan frowned. "Who is waking?" he asked. Kelly shook her head. "I don't know, but it's not coming from the Krylos or the Void Spawn. It's something else." The discovery cast a shadow over the celebrations. Ryan called a meeting with his senior officers to discuss the new signal. "This changes things," he said. "We thought we had time to recover, to prepare. But if there's another threat out there, we need to act now." The room fell silent as everyone processed the implications. Laura spoke up first. "We should send a scout ship to investigate. If whatever's waking is hostile, we need to know before it reaches us." Alex nodded in agreement. "And we should keep working with the Krylos. They've faced these kinds of threats before. Their knowledge could save us." Ryan agreed. He gave the order to prepare another mission. This time, they would go farther than ever before, into uncharted regions of space. As the crew began making plans, Ryan walked to the window once more. He looked out at the stars, their light twinkling like distant promises. Humanity had taken a stand against the darkness and survived. But the universe was vast, and the unknown waited patiently. Whatever was coming, Ryan knew one thing for certain. Humanity would face it together, and they would be ready. The new mission was set. A small scout ship, the Pioneer prepared to venture into uncharted space to investigate the mysterious signal Lieutenant Kelly Hayes had discovered. Captain Ryan Carter chose a trusted crew for this dangerous task, including Commander Alex Monroe and Lieutenant Daniel Brooks. They would go farther than any human had gone before, seeking answers about the cryptic message. "They are waking." As the Pioneer launched from Earth, the rest of the fleet remained on standby. Back at headquarters, teams worked around the clock to decode more of the signal. Kelly Hayes stayed glued to her station, running simulations and cross-referencing data. The phrase repeated itself endlessly in her mind. Who or what was waking? And why did it feel so ominous? On board the Pioneer Asterisk, the mood was tense but determined. Alex Monroe stood on the bridge, his eyes scanning the star-filled expanse outside. "This feels different," he said quietly to Ryan. "We don't know what's out there." Ryan nodded. "That's why we're going. Ignorance won't keep us safe." Nearby, Daniel Brooks tinkered with the ship's sensors, trying to pick up traces of the signal. "If we can track its origin," he said, "we might find some answers." Days passed without incident. The crew grew restless, unsure if they were chasing a ghost. Then, one night, the sensors lit up. Brooks nearly jumped out of his seat. "Captain, I got something," he exclaimed. On the main screen, a faint blip appeared, a massive object drifting in the void. As they approached, the shape became clearer. It was an ancient, derelict ship, larger than anything they had ever seen. Ryan ordered the crew to board the vessel cautiously. Armed with scanners and tools, they stepped onto its darkened corridors. The air was cold and stale, and strange symbols covered the walls. Brooks ran his fingers over one of them. "This isn't human," he whispered. "And it's not Krylos either." Suddenly, the lights flickered on, revealing rows of pods lining the walls. Inside each pod was a creature, alien beings suspended in stasis. Before anyone could react, a low hum filled the ship. One of the pods began to crack open. "Everyone back to the shuttle," Ryan shouted. But it was too late. The creature inside stirred, its glowing eyes locking onto the intruders. It wasn't hostile, at least not yet, but it radiated power and intelligence. Using a handheld translator, Brooks managed to communicate. "It says, it's been waiting." The being introduced itself as part of an ancient race that had once ruled the galaxy. They had gone into stasis to avoid destruction by the Void Spawn. Now, sensing the Void Spawn's return, they were awakening to reclaim their place. "You destroyed one of them," the creature said through the translator. "But others will come. You cannot fight them alone." Back on the Pioneer Asterisk, the crew debated their next move. "We can't trust them," Alex argued. "What if they're worse than the Void Spawn?" Ryan hesitated. He didn't want to make the wrong choice, but time was running out. If the Void Spawn returned, humanity would need allies, no matter how uneasy the alliance might be. In the end, Ryan made a decision. "We'll work with them. For now," he said. "But we stay alert. Trust has to be earned." The alien agreed, offering knowledge and technology to help humanity prepare for future battles. In return, they asked for safe passage to rebuild their civilization. When the Pioneer Asterisk returned to Earth, Ryan reported everything to the fleet. Some were skeptical, others frightened. But Ryan reminded them of one truth: survival meant adaptation. Humanity had faced the unknown and prevailed before. With courage and caution, they could do it again. As the stars twinkled above, Ryan looked out at the endless horizon. The universe was vast, full of wonders and dangers alike. But humanity had proven its strength. Together, they would face whatever came next, and they would endure.